many years they've had. Look at Bobby Huber, for instance. Look at Bobby Huber, for instance. He spent so many years doing so much work and do so much stuff. Now they've got Yasoda and all the old guys from the old camp together, having rhythmic initiations, etc. And then what? You see,
Yeah.
How are they going to break through to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls? Isn't that the mission that Prabhupada gave us all to do?
Right. Yes.
Wouldn't you agree that's what Prabhupada wanted?
Yeah, that's what Prabhupada exactly wanted. He didn't want.
So all we have to do you know how easy it is to do that? How absolutely easy it is? Just declare it. I wanted to help. I want to see all the fallen conditioned souls delivered. That's what my birth must be in my next lifetime. Not, I've stumbled around or tripped in the dark and didn't go back to Godhead, you know? You see what I'm saying? We have to get out of the mundane state of mind. I do, and I invite everyone else to. Why not? It's more. Do you know why we can do that?
Because we're souls, spirit souls.
Yeah, no, because it's fun. It's more fun to be a pure spirit soul than it is to be struggling along trying to take a better birth. Who needs it? Just have fun. What is the fun? Deliver the fallen souls. That's fun for them too, because excuse me. This could be a problem. I don't know. Do I sound crazy or something?
You're always crazy.
Yes. Yes, that's the whole point. If you're not crazy, you're not on track.
Yeah. So you were crazy from the beginning, so it's okay.
I don't know what's crazy. You know, who's crazy?
Prabhupada wrote that paper or that essay, "Who is Crazy?" You remember that?
Yeah, of course. You know, that was a lecture Prabhupada gave. Hansa Duda took the lecture, had someone transcribe it, and then printed it up, and they started distributing it as literature on Sankirtan.
Who is crazy? Yeah. Prabhupada was saying the karmis will say the devotees are crazy, and the devotees are going to say the karmis are crazy. So who's going to decide? I mean, who's going to be the judge?
Huh? Yeah. But the point is, if you get the point of Krishna consciousness, then you can be the crazy one that understands Krishna.
Yes.
Does that make any sense at all?
It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Now let's help. Now that makes sense to both of us, and with Rupamanjri, of course. Then now we need to have it make sense to everyone. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, we want to have it make sense to them too. You know, that's what Lord Chaitanya was talking about. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, simply speak of Krishna. Why? Because that's crazy. Why don't you think about your next meal? Why don't you think about who you're going to get married to? Why don't you think about all the practical things in life? No. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, simply speak of Krishna. That's crazy. That is crazy. Because it isn't practical in the material world to do that.
That's a very good point, that people have been conditioned, even though Krishna consciousness is so powerful, it seems that their material consciousness is overpowering their true spiritual nature, which is, being pure spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. So
It has from the beginning. And
yeah,
then they get all caught up on how to become a guru and stuff like that without even understanding wherever you go, whomever you meet, simply speak of Krishna
very simple.
without any extras.
Yeah.
You like?
So someone who's been conditioned to think like this for more than 50 years, it's very difficult for them to break out of this stupid trap. You know.
50 years. What have they tried to accomplish in 50 years? Now, Bobby Hebert's done all sorts of wonderful work, but when is he going to put down the plow and say, I'm going to die? I want to be crazy now. From now on in my next birth, wherever I go, whomever I meet, I will simply speak of Krishna.
Well, he's doing that. Whoever comes to his house, whoever he meets, he gives them this, tries to help them understand Krishna consciousness. So he's doing it
Well,
to
of
some
course,
degree.
we all do. We all do.
Yes. So,
but I'm talking about a different level.
oh, so maybe you can talk about that level. What do you?
However it may be, but it's the main thing about the level is that it's spontaneous.
Well, that's what he's doing. Whoever he meets, he tells them about Krishna. He gives them prasadam and books, and then he tries to help them understand Krishna consciousness. So,
but then why does he make these websites that are as heavy as you can get?
Heavy in what sense? What do you mean by heavy?
Heavy means not crazy, not spontaneous love of God.
Well,
you see, I'm not criticizing Bobby Hebert or anybody. I love Bobby Hebert. He's one of my favorite people.
Maybe he's real.
How many times are you going to find two Vishwakarmas in one space?
No, I'm saying he's doing according to his understanding and what he thinks is best. And
everyone, of course, everyone is. So he gets this whole. Well, what do you think? Okay, you tell me. He's getting this whole group together, right?
Yes. Okay.
He wants to get maybe a few hundred or maybe a few thousand people together.
Right.
And then what?
Tell them about Krishna, just like you said.
No, they are already know about Krishna for 50 years.
Okay.
So they get all together. Then what?
They read Prabhupada's books. They discuss Prabhupada's books. They try to use their insights to bring more people in or something.
Well, but the thing is, by now, haven't they read Prabhupada's books already? Why about not go out and apply this with the pure ecstatic love of God? For instance, that could be easily accomplished by going into the streets the way Lord Chaitanya did. Chanting. How many of them are going to go out and chant without rock and roll instruments? I mean, how many of them were going to go out and simply chant without any thought of yesterday?
That's a very good point. Any thought of yesterday? No.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. I think you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Because I know I can feel you. We resonate. Don't you think?
Yes. People act according to their understanding. So if they don't have an understanding, how would they act otherwise?
By 50 years, they need to have developed an understanding.
You know what I'm saying? I act according to my. They have been reading Prabhupada's books, but
but what happens when they die? I mean, yes. I agree with everything you're saying. But then what happens when they die?
They take another birth Isn't that what happens?
Then what happens?
And then they start off where they left off. If they started at,
With who as the guru?
that's a good question. If they're initiated by Srila Prabhupada and they carry their consciousness over to their next life, they would come in contact with the devotees and revive their previous understanding of, okay, I must have been a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. That's why I'm so attracted to him. I'm just speculating. I'm looking into the future. How you're asking questions, so I'm trying to answer on behalf of them. So if one of these devotees die, or they'll take birth again.
One of them dies.
All of them.
All of them will die.
Yeah. So.
Damn soon too.
So they take birth again. Hopefully. Yeah.
So, in whose womb will they take birth?
Well, that is not up to me right now to tell whose womb they will.
No. Of course, it's not up to you. It's not up to me either. But what I'm trying to say is, in whose womb? What wombs have been prepared for them to take birth in?
Yeah, you're going through a systematic approach that they hopefully take a womb where their family people are disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I don't know. It's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. If they have a strong understanding about Srila Prabhupada as the Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru, then they definitely will carry that over to the next life. I mean,
yeah, but it's not necessarily going to be easy.
Of course, it's not going to be easy.
Because they have not prepared themselves in that exciting.
Oh, okay, you're saying
that you and I are talking about now. If they die in that mood, then they will take a really interesting birth.
Oh, you're saying that you must prepare for that mood right now. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Huh? That's what Prabhupada said with his first words that he ever uttered.
So that's okay. So you must have that understanding now for that to manifest in your next birth. That's what you're trying to say.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. That's very simply done.
Oh, by the way, are we all live yet?
We are live. Yes, Lakshmi, you unmuted yourself. I saw. Do you have a comment, question, realization? Go ahead.
Comment about now. Let's say that different individuals and everything like that are working through, they're preparing for their next birth. How about like different animals that are born on the Dham? So is there a chance that like these individuals, if they're not on track and everything like that they could even come back in an animal form?
Exactly, they can.
Yes, they can.
At the time of Lord Chaitanya, there was a dog that accompanied him.
Well, and then Indra was a pig.
I'm sorry?
Indra was a pig. Indra was a hog.
Indra and his wife.
Oh, that was a curse.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, so we have to really...
Exactly. In other words, what you're saying is, we can't predict that we're going to have this. What do people think? Prabhu, what do you think is going to happen when you die? Excuse my, not to imply that you're going to die, but what if you're going to take another birth? What do you think it will be? What would you like it to be?
Well, throughout this life, I've been working towards being a devotee all throughout this life through different stages. So
yes, I know, but in what context, under what guidance, under one of the bogus gurus? I mean,
well, that's like I've gone through different chapters of my life with that, and I've been very fortunate that I've always had the sound of Hare Krishna around me, even whenever it wasn't favorable. Growing up, and everything, my older brother, who's my half brother, he's 6 years older than me. my mom's first husband, he was a devotee, I believe, of Prabhupada. He chanted Hare Krishna, but I heard a bunch of bad things growing up and everything about devotees.
Okay, so this is where you are. This is how you became who you are, right?
Yeah, and that's where it's like by the grace of Krishna that I came in association with devotees, and
But Prabhu,
it hasn't
I know
been,
this is not exactly a ladies' topic,
what is that?
generally speaking, because the ladies are trying to create a situation where they have a devotee coming into their womb and stuff like that, But what about people in general? Is that you?
Yes, this is me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Glories to Prabhupada.
All
So
glories.
how are we? So how are? Okay, I'm not being very specific, but I'm just saying, look at all of these devotees. There's thousands of devotees all over the world now, right?
Yes.
Thousands and thousands. So how are they going to prepare themselves for their next birth? You see, everyone thinks they're going to die and go back to Godhead. This is a great error.
It's by practice, by what they're doing, their activity. I mean, we have to have activity that is forward moving towards that
Yes,
purpose.
but I mean, wouldn't you say that most devotees, when they become devotees, are not thinking they're going to take another birth? They think they're going to die and go to Krishna Loka, something like that.
That's where it's like just have to chant. I mean, that's what we have been directed. That's what needs to be done, is glorification of God's name.
Yeah, but there's a process to become going to Krishna Loka.
Yeah.
And then when you're a Kanista Adhikari, then you need to become a Madhyama Adhikari.
Yes.
When you become the Madhyama Adhikari, you're guided by Lord Paramatma up through that dark universe, developing reciprocal love with Krishna without being able to see Krishna. And as you come up through that level, at some point, if you please Krishna 100%, and he will be pleasing you like crazy too, when that happens, the curtain of Maya, Prabhupada said, the curtain of Maya will roll up. He went like that. Well,
yeah, real.
Okay, the curtain of Maya rolls up. You'll see Krishna face to face. You'll come under the protection of Yoga Maya, and then you can see Krishna face to face. Why Yoga Maya? Because Yoga Maya is what determines your rasa with Krishna from any other rasa with Krishna. But nobody is even thinking along those lines. Would you agree?
I do agree. It's
yeah. So what happened is, think of all the people in your own lifetime. How many Shraddha ceremonies you've gone to, how many little piles of ashes have been there and everybody chants and everything like that. It's a very nice thing. But the Siddhanta, how do we get what the conclusion?
Well, I mean, you're saying all these things which are your, which is your, what Prabhupada has told you. But if someone is not ready to hear, how can they even, if they're not at the level, how can they? For example, Prabhupada came, he was a pure devotee. How many disciples he initiated? How many of them became a pure devotee? I'm asking you a question.
It's not necessary to become a pure devotee. All that's necessary is to want to deliver the fallen souls.
Okay, so Prabhupada wanted to.
Prabhupada came here. Didn't Prabhupada have one single desire when he came to preach to us? He talked, he sang, he did all these wonderful things. But didn't he have one single point of view? that he wanted to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls in the on earth in the golden age of Kali. 10,000 years. He wanted them all delivered. So if we see that that's what he wanted, then why don't we say, that's what I want?
Well, I mean, if Prabhupada might have the desire, but it is not, the disciples might not have the same desire. It's an individual process. So why?
Well, of course, the disciple may not have the same desire,
Yes.
but he will have to develop it at some point, won't he?
Yeah, if they want to go to the ultimate destination, definitely.
Or even better, if they want to deliver the fallen souls. If Lord Chaitanya came to deliver the fallen souls, and he did, we know his history, you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, then Prabhupada comes as though he is stepping out of the body of Lord Chaitanya. He is saying to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls.
Well,
and then he just creates all these disciples who may or may not care at all about delivering the fallen souls. They just want to go back to Godhead themselves.
Yes. So,
but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he made the masses of people into devotees by chanting Hare Krishna. But there were still some people who were not transformed into being devotees, who were offenders, or there were some groups that were not moved by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement.
During the time of Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah, I'm talking about during the time of Lord Chaitanya. So
yeah, but that doesn't really matter, does it? If the intention is to deliver the fallen conditioned souls.
Of course, yes, the intention.
If you do it well or do it badly, you're still doing it. You're trying to do it.
Yes, the intention.
But if you don't even care to do it, it's going to take longer, because that's the only process there is in golden age of Kali, is to deliver the fallen conditioned souls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can you imagine if all the ISKCON devotees had got that aha moment and said, I get it. We're going to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls. So let's go out on Sankirtan and chant until we're insane.
Yeah.
Instead of wanting to get into a comfy little place and settle down. Do you get the distinction? Do you like that? I don't care if you get do you like that distinction?
Well, yeah, that's what Prabhupada came for, to deliver all the conditioned souls. That's the Vaishnava's desire. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
So what is your duty now?
The duty of the disciple is to carry the order of the spiritual master, which is same mood in delivering the fallen conditioned souls.
Yeah, you finally got to it today.
Yes.
You became a disciple of Prabhupada because he wanted to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls. So that means you want to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls. Would you say?
Yes.
Yes. So that's what we're up against, is all of this weird stuff in ISKCON is just measure it. You can use it like a doctor taking the pulse. How much of deliverance of the fallen conditioned souls is taking place? How much do they want to? And if they don't want to, when will they want to?
That's a very good.
There's no other, as Lord Chaitanya said, no other way, no other way, no other way.
Chant.
So if why for all this business with gurus, etc., why aren't people flooding why aren't the because people flooding the streets with chanting? They're busy selling you changed books. Why don't they go excuse me, why aren't they out there simply flooding the towns every single day, but chanting. People will come and say, "Why are you chanting? Get a book and you'll find out." That would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you have a very excellent point here, that why isn't there more hundreds and hundreds of people chanting if they've understood the philosophy to deliver others by this chanting process? Yeah.
Yeah, because let's say, and I said it just in this a few minutes ago, Lord Chaitanya came to to chant, engage everyone in chanting the holy name of Krishna. He didn't care about anything else. Then Prabhupada came to deliver, to get everyone to chant, to become absorbed in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra also. And then what happened? Everybody wanted to settle down.
Everyone wanted to guru down.
Yeah, go down.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yeah, so
Okay, we have some comments from devotees online.
we didn't play the recording, did we?
Oh, yes, we did it. We can play it in a bit or at the end. So
Exactly. I think we're on a roll. Would you agree we're sort of on a roll?
yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why aren't devotees planning for deliverance of all the conditioned souls? That's perfectly.
Why
Prabhupada's-
not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Okay.
Are you a devotee? Okay. Are you planning for the deliverance of the fallen conditioned souls? I know that we have a comment, but are you planning for the deliverance? No, I want to go back to Godhead myself. Well, why? How can you do that if you don't plan for the deliverance of the fallen conditioned souls?
Okay. We have some
So
comments.
Let's hear it. Go ahead. You're
No,
the boss.
Okay. Saurav Sahu Prabhu is saying, Narayan Prabhu, what about your hell?
What about my hell?
Yeah.
My hell?
Her
That's what
health,
this- Yes.
Did he say health or hell?
health with a TH.
Oh, what about my health? My health?
Well,
I don't have health. I'm eternal. I'm eternal spirit soul. What sort of health am I supposed to have? May I ask?
yeah.
And when he's asking, may I ask, what about your health?
Okay. And Peter Prabhu is saying, Jai, are you okay? Saurav Sahu Prabhu is saying, I think you're okay. You're here on the program, ISKCON program. So I think you're okay.
Well, never mind, am I okay? Not, do I sound okay?
You sound okay to me.
Well, I'm saying
Right.
our mission is to deliver the fallen conditioned soul. So
Hare Krishna.
what's the bad part?
No bad part.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
keep going.
And then there's Moses Singleton Prabhu. He's saying, it's
Right.
good to see you back, Narayan Prabhu. He has a heart sign, Om sign, and a japa. Japa.
See me back?
Yes.
Where did I go?
Everyone was worried about you because you were in the hospital, Narayan.
Well,
You're back. So
I mean,
let the worries fly away.
well, in the hospital or not in the hospital, I'm still eternal, right?
Jai. Yes.
So when I was in the hospital, I was describing and discussing our eternal life with the nurses, the doctors, the interns, and stuff like that. Just
Hare-
like this.
Yeah, we just didn't have a camera there. A Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
We'll put a Zoom meeting next time there.
Yeah, next time I'm in the hospital.
Yeah. Okay, there's some more comments here. Moses Singleton Prabhu says, no more material existence, 100%. Moses Singleton Prabhu then says, I agree, Narayan, there are stages one must go through. No, I agree, Narayan, there are stages one must progress through. It is a process.
Why did you say that?
Say what?
Why do you say it's a process? If you want to deliver the fallen conditioned souls, if you can read 3 words out of the Bhagavatam or out of the Bhagavad Gita, yes, I'm going to go out and deliver the fallen souls. I'm going to chant.
Try.
And that's the whole point. Prabhupada said the purpose of his books is so that we will know why to chant.
Chant and deliver.
But anyhow, right now people are convoluting and saying the purpose of this movement is so we can read the books. And then what at the time of death, what the hell are you going to be doing?
Reading the book.
Excuse me for the bad language. What?
Okay, there's some more comments. Christopher is saying, I am so glad to see Narayan Prabhu here after hearing he was in the hospital. Saurabh Sahu Prabhu saying, I am deluded, Satchid Ananda in the material world. Satchid Ananda in the material world.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And Aristophanes is saying, Hare Krishna.
And I say Hare Krishna to the great Aristophanes. No matter what he thinks, no matter what he does,
He's a
it
genius.
improves the quality of life of the human race.
There was one comment from devotees in Mexico. They're saying they joined the meeting at about 7:57 p.m. They said, Hare Krishna Prabhus, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please
My
accept
wife
my
and I,
also, let me offer obeisances too. You, go ahead.
yes, he's saying, Hare Krishna Prabhus, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My wife and I hope both of you are in good health. Narayan Prabhu, hope you are well. Keep up the good and strong service.
Well means preaching, right?
Yes, this was the comment they gave.
Yes, but I thank you very much. Muchas gracias para sus, I forgot how to say it.
You forgot your Spanish at the hospital.
Yeah, I forgot my Spanish.
Yes, there are devotees in Mexico. They're preaching.
Que parte de Mexico?
Yeah, they're preaching in Mexico and distributing books and stuff. Wonderful group.
Are they Mexican?
They're Mexicans, yes.
How wonderful.
Yeah, they have a website called harekrishnamx.com. So
yes.
So
the point is,
they're chanting on the streets also. They're regularly doing it. So what are you talking about? They're actually doing.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I will show their website so they can see what they're doing.
Yeah, I was describing to Rupamanjri earlier today that back in 1968, I would sort of, New Yorkers don't like to go out of the temple in the cold weather.
Oh yeah,
so,
you're talking about that, yes.
Yeah, so I got everybody to go out and chant in the streets in the snow, and they were so unwilling to go that I went out in sandals, a dhoti, a kurta, and a chadar, and nothing else.
Glad to see you back, Narayan.
Huh? Yeah, and Ishan was with us too.
Ishan Prabhu, he was there. Yeah.
Yeah, 1968 in the New York Temple. Then when the weather warmed up, we went to Washington Square and chanted in front of the university. And we had beautiful kirtan. And then Ishan was playing his trumpet like you wouldn't believe. And then at the university, all the windows opened up and people were sticking their heads out and were amazed at what we were doing. Because this is in 1968, I mean, nobody knew about devotees or Sankirtan or anything like that.
So these are the devotees that were wishing you well here. They're being initiated as disciples of Srila Prabhupada.
Jai,
This is in Mexico.
very beautiful people,
Yeah,
very
wonderful.
beautiful assembly. I pray for their great success.
Jai. Yeah, they're an amazing group of devotees. They're very hardworking devotees.
Yeah.
This is the wife of the devotee that wished you well.
Oh, Jai.
She's wonderful. They're setting up.
Gracias.
Yes. So they have a big picture of Srila Prabhupada here on the right. You can see here. And Srila
That's
Prabhupada.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
This is,
beautiful.
yeah. So they're very.
So now we need to broadcast into every town and village exactly like that.
Yeah.
Of course, it won't be exactly like that. It'll be exactly like the people in their own town and village.
Yes.
But that's the point, right? You'd go and you do it.
Yeah. They're doing it actually.
Without trying to own anything, without trying to be a guru, without trying to do anything like that. Just broadcast.
Yeah. They've also started a magazine where they're preaching in like a Back to Krishna magazine. They're taking Prabhupada's, you see it right here on the right one.
Yes, really.
So they're printing magazines and distributing. So
that's perfect. That's what they're doing. We started out doing many decades ago.
yeah.
And now they're doing it now because they stopped doing it. So now what they're doing is glorious. And it should be multiplied in every part of Mexico or every part of the world, for that matter.
Yeah, look at this.
Okay, do you like all of that?
Yeah.
Yes, so what's not to like, right?
Yeah, they're doing all that you're saying, to chant on the street, to distribute books, to hold programs. They're doing all that. So this is their website. This is called Hare Krishna something.
Ciudad de
Oh.
Mexico.
Yeah. So
What's it called, Rupamanjri?
Hare Krishna Ciudad de Mexico.
Oh,
it means
Ciudad de
Mexico.
Mexico, AF,
Yeah, Mexico
That's-
City.
Mexico City, yeah. I love Mexico City.
So here they're distributing Prabhupada's magazine. Whoops.
This is perfect.
They're preaching in I guess school or something here.
Yeah, that's good. You know, when I say broadcasting everywhere, it slows it down in the school because you're talking to people. But the main idea is to broadcast in such a way that no one doesn't hear Krishna.
Yeah. So anyways, this is their website. If anyone is interested, please check them out.
That's beautiful.
And
How do you access the website?
oh, this is Facebook, and this is their Facebook homepage where they advertise all their Krishna conscious programs. You
In
can see here.
Spanish?
In Spanish, yeah, Spanish and English too. They have English classes on Sundays.
This is where ISKCON started in 1968. This is how they started in 1968. After that, it became, and when the GBC came in, it was all about get a temple and control it.
Huh.
Control as many temples as you can. Never mind their chanting in the streets. That's what happened in 1970. It began like that. They wanted to become controllers, not preachers.
Hmm.
Not Okay, because we were starting out by saying, when you leave your body, what do you anticipate is going to be happening next?
Uh,
And we were saying before, if a person says, I want to die and go back to Godhead, that's fine. You'll become a grain of sand in Krishna Loka. Because you have to develop your rasa with Krishna before you can go back to Godhead in the way you imagine that you would like to go back to Godhead. With Krishna and gopis and cowboy boys and stuff like that. Those are higher rasas.
Joy,
Anyhow, are we having fun yet?
always,
Great.
As long as-
Almost or yes?
always, as long as you're here. Don't go
all, we
anywhere.
have to do, all we have to do is say yes, we're having fun. And then that transforms the whole universe.
Okay.
Do you like?
Yes. Let's see. There's some more comments here. Let me put it on the screen.
Great.
Okay. Arishta Prabhu saying, Rastafani is saying, Hare Krishna, all praises to his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And then Rastafani is saying, my obeisances to all Prabhus. Okay. And Sorosahu Prabhu is asking, I think, a question. Can Narayan Prabhu, well, his question is not clear. Can Narayan Prabhu have right information about who first directed, initiated disciple of Prabhupada? Just asking in curiosity. I don't know what he's...
I don't quite understand the question.
Rupa, can you make out this question?
He says, can Narayan Prabhu has right information about who was first direct initiated disciple of Prabhupada? So he's asking who was the first initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada.
Oh.
It's a little hard to say because this was all happening at 26 Avenue, and it wasn't like that. A whole group of people came in.
Yes.
Actually, a whole group of people heard Prabhupada chanting. A few people heard Prabhupada chanting in the park, and Prabhupada was getting ready to leave because he couldn't get anywhere. And then they said, Swami, we want to know more about it. Where's your center? He says, I don't have a center. I'm just staying at the YMCA. He said, well, you need to have a center. So they went and got him 26 Avenue. And then everybody slept on the floor who wanted to be a devotee. And then they figured it wasn't so nice for Prabhupada and them to be sleeping on the same floor after they began to realize how great Prabhupada was. And so they got him an apartment just behind 26 Avenue. I've been in that room when with Prabhupada in it. And so, what am I saying? Excuse me. So that's how it all began in 22nd Avenue. So you want to say, who was the first initiated disciple? They were, I don't think one would, I think several would become initiated in the same ceremony.
Yeah,
because they were all friends. Why would one want to get initiated and the others not?
Yeah, there were groups of initiations that were held in the beginning, like.
Yeah, but he said the first one.
First
and I
one.
would say, who was the first one?
It's
Maybe
very hard to pinpoint.
Maybe Chaturani, but they were all. They would have a ceremony. Maybe 3, 4, 5 devotees would have an initiation. So that's the first one. Is 5.
The batch. Yeah, it's probably talking about the first batch of devotees. That I think can be found out.
Well, I think he was honestly thinking, who was the very first person that was initiated by Srila Prabhupada. And as far as I can tell, it didn't work that way. Of course, he had already initiated someone in England, India.
Yeah, right,
So
right,
that,
yes.
that was an individual, but that we're talking about the movement here in America.
Let's see. Let me look it up. See, that's a good question. I can look it up. Let's see here. Let me put. So, first disciple. Okay,
I could be
let's.
mistaken, of course.
And we're looking it up. Let's see. First disciple comes up. Let's see here. Who was the first disciple? No.
I've never even thought of looking it up. This is exciting.
Okay, let's see what first disciple. No. Let's see. It might be in a letter. Letters from Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Okay, Prabhupada's first disciple, a learned devotee named, what is this? Something, Prabharkar Mishra. That is his first disciple. And in America, let me find out. See, this is Prabhupada's first disciple, someone in India.
In India.
Yes, that's who you mentioned, Narayan Prabhu. That's his name.
Okay, I didn't know his name, but I did know it. He was a disciple in India.
Who is this? First disciple. No, it doesn't. The Prabhupada does not say, well, the first disciple part does not come up. We got to look for key words. Who's the first disciple? I don't know. Honestly, we'll have to look it up.
I think the first disciple was two of them, Brahmananda and Achyutananda.
Yeah, I think so. Prabhupada says in a letter, you were practically my first disciple to Achyutananda, I think one of the letters. So it could, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because Prabhupada was chanting with his kartals, and this is how the story's been told to me. And he closed his eyes and was chanting, and then he opened his eyes and he saw the two of them there dancing.
Two of them? No, there were several of them dancing.
Oh.
Well, this is how it's been told to me, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's oral history, because when I took initiation in 1968, it's only like 2 years before the first initiations, right?
Yeah. Okay, here Prabhupada is saying to Danavir, I think this is the same Danavir that worked with you, who's now a so-called guru. Prabhupada is saying Mukunda. He's talking about Mukunda. He is one of my first disciples, along with his wife Janaki. So one of. So there are many first disciples, I guess, in batches. Maybe he was. I don't know. I'm just reading what I'm.
Yeah, all I could do is offer my memory and oral history, because, in 1968, I was aware of all of the things that were happening in the movement, which consisted of very few people.
Right. Kirtanananda.
I'm not posing myself to be some sort of an absolute authority by any means, but
you were there. Yes, you were there around 68.
Well, I wasn't there. I was up there in New York until 1968 December.
Okay, that's clear. Okay.
And that's when the temple moved from 26 Second Avenue to 62 Second Avenue. And I built the altar and Vyasa-san and everything like that for Srila Prabhupada there, plus a gigantic altar that was brilliantly lit and had, it was just gorgeous. I remember, I will never forget, I was waiting. The door comes in from the left, and the altar would be on the left of the door. It's on that comes up from the left. So I was beyond the door waiting to see Prabhupada. And when he came in, he looked at the altar. I could see his eyes became like explosive explosions of light, an explosion of light.
Joy.
And the reason why is because when I built that altar, I wanted Prabhupada to make a drawing, so that some sort of diagram. And I was in Los Angeles, and I wanted to make a diagram so that, I'd have something to work with. I could make it the way he wanted it. And that's before we knew all about these formal, temples the way they are now. And I kept on sort of hinting how to build the altar. And I'm sort of getting a little panicky because they're sending me off to New York to build an altar, and I don't have the slightest idea how he wants it to look. And so I finally said to Srila Prabhupada, how am I going to build this altar? How am I going to design it and build it? And Prabhupada looked at me, sat up very straight, and said, Krishna will direct you from within.
Joy.
That was mind-boggling. So when I got to New York, Ramananda, a huge guy, was helping bring all my tools up the very steep stairs to the new temple. And he said, oh, did Prabhupada give you any drawing, or did he wanted? That's what he wanted too. Did he give you a drawing or how to do it? He said, how are you going to design the temple? And I looked at Ramananda and I said, as evenly as I could, Prabhupada said, Krishna will direct me from within. Ramananda's eyes became huge. His mouth became round as a donut. And he went charging up the stairs, and my toolboxes went bouncing down the stairs again, where I had to collect them myself and drag them up to the top. And I came up, and he was in his office, which was a closet. That's the way things are in New York. Spaces at a premium. So he was on the phone, and he was totally upset. He said, Tamal, why you have sent me this nutcase? And he said, Krishna will direct him from within. And Prabhupada said that Krishna will direct him from within. They said, he did? Prabhupada actually said that? And Tamal, said yes, And so
Tamal
he
told the
came back
truth
to the stairs
for the first
I
time.
was dragging him. He said, Prabhupada did say Krishna will direct you from within. And I looked at Ramananda and sort of shamefacedly, like I was caught red-handed or something. And then he turned around and went up the stairs and didn't help me with the tools anymore. But anyhow, it was fun. But if I could tell you a little bit, can I tell you one little bit more?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As I was building the altar, it was like an angle, but you could go around to the room behind, and there was all the space was under it. So Ramananda would come around, and I could tell he was peeking, trying to see if Krishna was there somehow, pointing out, do this, do that, directing me.
Yeah,
it was
like...
so amazing. And there's more and more to that story. It's really pretty amazing story.
Jai.
Excuse me. But yeah, I could go on for an hour describing the miracle, one miracle after another.
Who threw the bottom piece away? Was it Jayadvaita Swami that threw it away?
Oh, you mean the bottom part of the deity?
Yeah. that used to, someone
It's
threw it
the
away.
marble, the brass deities.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, they tend to, some of them, and these ones did, have a base, and then at the top slides in.
Yes.
So then when you dress the deity, you take it off and you do everything, and then you put it back onto the base.
Yeah.
Well, Prabhupada wanted me to cast new brass deities, not necessarily for New York, but he wanted me to design and be able to make them for the whole movement.
But someone threw it
So-
away though. Who threw it?
Well, I am explaining.
Oh, okay, okay.
Jai Dwaita thought I was taking too much time, and he kept on complaining and demanded that the deities be put back on the altar. It was not an unreasonable request, but I needed the deities for what I was making molds and copies of them so that I could cast them.
Ah,
And so finally, I wrapped them in silk cloth and put them in my toolbox, tool chest,
ah,
not tool chest, but toolbox, yes, where I kept all my equipment for building the altar. And so Jayadevata became so irritated that he took my tools and threw them in the dumpster, where they got dumped into the bin or wherever it was. And as a result, not only my tools were gone, but the bases for the deities were gone as well. So to this very day, those deities do not have bases.
wow, that's the history of that, huh?
Yeah. So there's Joy to editing away.
That's what I was gonna say. He's editing away from a very early time.
Mm.
Not only that, he's throwing stuff away.
Yeah, so it became sort of complicated because I asked Brahmananda, okay, what's the budget? Now, remember this was 1968, but he said $50. And I stare at him. I'm going to build an altar for $50? How is this going to happen? So what happens is that I say, I'm building the structure out of used wood that I find in the lots around the temple. Make it, it's the old days in Manhattan. And I find timbers here, so I put it together. And then I didn't have any way of the room was a haberdasher for tuxedos, and it was beautiful wood, walnut wood with what you call bird's eye maple panels in between. And I wanted the temple to, I wanted the altar to look like that. But where would I find those materials? So they had torn out that whole end of the building for some reason, or end of the room for some reason, and that's where I was going to build the altar. So I was so depressed because $50, I couldn't buy a twig for $50. So I went down into the basement and I sat down on a very dusty pile of lumber and started kicking my feet. And I noticed that I was kicking my feet on panels that had been taken out of that space. There it was, walnut around the edge and bird's eye maple. And so I dragged the pieces up and cleaned them up and refinished them and used them as the front of the steps going up. Hard to describe because the altars aren't like that anymore, but it would be like a series of steps. But then I didn't have anything to put on the steps. I didn't want to use wood, and the bird's eye maple was all shapes. So it looked gorgeous too, by the way. And I became totally depressed. Instead of going into the basement, and went onto the porch. Porch means that, you know, in New York, they overlook, say, a bunch of porches overlooked enough, nothing in particular. It's just like that to have access to light. And I was there, and I put my elbows on the edge of the balcony, and I sat there, and I thought, oh my God, I'm getting my curtain totally filthy. And so I dusted it off, and then I said, I like the idea. I was trying to pray to get the surface for the altar. And so what happened is I dusted it off, and there was a stack of marble planks, or, you know, pieces. And they were the exact right size to put on the altar. But they were really oxidized, having been out in the weather for probably 50 years or something of that sort. And so I didn't have any weighted, so I took my sander and I sanded them down until they looked like marble, but they didn't look very shiny. So then I put a varnish on them, clear acrylic varnish, and then they were gorgeous. And I put them up on the altar of those pieces from the basement. I put them on the altar there. So the different deities, Radha Krishna were on one level, and then above that was Lord Jagannath. It was a little asymmetrical, and then it came down to where you could make the offering and stuff like that. And then curtains, and then the lights. I like to make altars with overhead lights shining down on the altar. And so I designed it so that with curtains that opened up when the deities were open and the lights were on. And so when Prabhupada came in, I had no idea if he would like it or not, you know? But I was so inside there, and he came in and offered a sort of a quick obeisance, looked up, and his eyes, I mean, I've never seen anything quite so brilliant as how he looked at the altar. It's as though he accepted it with his glance. So now you know everything.
Ramachandra, what are you playing?
Oh, this is just a video I was looking at. So I thought when Narayan Prabhu was speaking, I thought I'd just put the video and with Narayan Prabhu speaking. So
Oh, you should have been sitting there with your hands folded. Just kidding. But anyhow, do you like the story?
Yeah, this the whole pastime of how you created the cast.
And I did not exceed the budget of $50.
Is this in New Vrindavan? This video taken here, or Gita Nagari? Do you know?
Say it looks like New Vrindavan.
Oh, New Vrindavan. Okay.
It does look like it at Boholavan.
Oh.
That's where
It's later, you know. It's not early days, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Blueberry orchard is back there, and then the apple orchard, and
Okay.
that's like the
You have to look.
That's a
Yeah, you have to look to the attribute of how it's published.
it's beautiful.
But it's later on, and you can see how happy Prabhupada is there.
Oh,
He
I see.
wanted land with cows, and there he is, with sitting amongst the cows on the land.
It don't look like that anymore. The frackers came through and tore it all up.
Oh, you mean the fracking, huh?
Oh yeah, the temple sold out everything.
Is this,
Oh.
you mean New Vrindavan?
Yes, she's talking about New Vrindavan has sold the land or leased the land to the fracking companies.
Yeah, that they did.
Not not directly where the temple is at, but the property all around it. And Prabhupada said, don't sell the land.
Yeah,
And-
but they had 4,000 acres, and they kept on selling pieces of land so that they could feed the devotees. This is post Kirtananda. They sold the land to eat. Can you imagine? They were eating Vrindavan. They were eating the land. This is how desperately corrupt it had become. And so
Wow.
then when they came down to having just a few, not that many more, I think 500 acres left out of 4,000, and then they didn't know what to do. And the fracking people came in and made an offer, and they said, no, of course not, we're not going to allow fracking. And then they said, well, how are we going to eat? And so they said, okay, we have to go for fracking. So they ate from the oil in below the soil of the holy dam of New Vrindavan.
Hmm.
Just unbelievable how it all broke down. But
Yeah,
obviously, this is
very sad.
not that period of time. Plus, I don't think that's New Vrindavan. What do you think it is? You see, I was in New Vrindavan in 1960.
it looks like the areas. I mean,
I was in
it feels very
68, 69, 70, 71, 72, off and on, building things.
but that's where it's like I saw later on, and so there was more trees.
They planted more
I
trees?
was told that there wasn't as many trees like in the 70s in the area I was at.
You can't get big trees in less than 100 years.
Yeah.
You know, if there's no trees, there's no trees. You know what I mean? I'm a country boy.
Well, they had the pawpaw patch that was across the street from the utility building. And they had a new area there where they used to have the big it was the sludge tank.
You're talking about New Vrindavan?
New Vrindavan, yeah.
Okay,
Where
when you talk about any place like that, you have to immediately say what year or what years. So I was there in 68, 68, winter of 68, 69, 70. What am I saying? I was there
69.
69, 70, 71, 72, like that, building things.
Yeah.
So that's, I can identify when I was in Vrindavan. And I was there when Srila Prabhupada came in 1969. The first time he ever visited Vrindavan. And it was while the Hayagriva and Kirtananda were holding Prabhupada's Gita hostage.
Ah, wow.
In
Is
other
that
words,
little cabin over by where the Palace of Gold is at right now? Because he had that little cabin over there to begin with.
a little cabin, it's a farmhouse up on the top of the hill. Are you familiar with that farmhouse on the top of the hill?
At Bahulavan, where he gave the Bhagavatam discourse on the hilltop.
I don't think, it's old Vrindavan, as far as I know.
Cabin. There was the two cabins there. I was actually trying to clean them up and
Cabins.
tear them all down.
Oh, there are little cabins. Little cabins?
Had the 2-story one and then the little one. They were still there on the hill.
I know, but what about the farmhouse? What about the farmhouse itself?
Did Buddha men live in one of them?
What about the original farmhouse?
The original farmhouse, they actually they remodeled it a couple years before I was there, and I was there about 5, 6 years ago. 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was there. I wasn't there 5 or 6 years ago. Actually, maybe
Yeah.
10 years ago. But did you notice that it had a big window at the top of the peak of the old building?
Of the
Did
old
you-
building. They tore
did-
down the temple building and the
Did
apartments.
you ever go up into the windy little stair into Prabhupada's court, where Prabhupada had been translating and sleeping and living upstairs?
I've probably did go in that area because I explored quite a bit whenever I was there. Because I was
Okay.
around older devotees, and so they were kind of like the older devotees that were not at the temple. They lived around the area, and so I got that association.
We
Well,
have
I
some
know,
comments
but-
now.
But if you lived in Vrindavan, it seems impossible that you would not go up to the original farmhouse that started the whole thing off.
Oh yeah, the farmhouse. I actually at the top of it, I used to chant japa up there.
Yeah,
Quite-
they remodeled it, they put a
They
big,
have like the little
big
apartments up
porch
there.
on the front
Have
and
the
stuff
lotus
like
flower
that.
on the ground.
Well, when I was up there in 1968 or early 69, Kirtanananda would not allow anyone to dance in the temple room because he didn't want, there's it's an old building, it's built a couple hundred years ago, and he didn't want the floor to collapse
Oh yeah.
because, it was a very real possibility. So he went away for a while. He
Yes.
was such a micromanaging controller. When he was gone, I pounced on the opportunity to do all sorts of things. And one of the things I did was I put a timber under the temple room floor, held up, with posts. And so when Kirtananda came back, we had a nice ecstatic kirtan, and he told us, and I said to the devotees, let's dance and chant, let's leap and dance. Kirtananda nearly fainted. No, the floor will collapse. But it didn't because I put the timber there. And so I always like to play jokes like that on people.
Okay, we have some comments now. Can we go
Okay.
over the comments? Okay. Peter Prabhu said, great story, Narayan Prabhu, when you were describing the deities and how you built the altar and all that. So,
Wow.
and then Peter Prabhu said they carnivore, what is it, this word?
Carnivorized.
Yeah, carnivorized the land, meaning that I guess by
He
extracting.
means cannibalized.
Yeah,
Cannibal. Yeah. Yeah.
They
They
did.
ate Krishna. They were eating Krishna. Nirvanavan is Krishna
and
by nature, just like Vrindavan, India is Krishna. So Nirvanavan is Krishna. And they were cannibalizing Krishna. Can you imagine the karmic reaction for doing that?
yeah. And then Peter Prabhu says unreal. And then Ratiyatra Prabhu from Jagannath Puri, listening from Puri, Orisha.
Oh,
Obeisance
my
to
beloved
all.
friend, Rathayatra Das.
Yes, he's watching, and including my good friend Narayan Das.
Yeah,
Your
when I
servant.
went in what was it,
2008?
1996, I think. I think it's 1996. I had met Rathayatra Das at Rathayatra in San Francisco, and he invited me to come. So I came, I got tickets, and I went to
Bangalore.
India. Bangalore, yes. and he gave me a tour all over the place to Udupi, and we stayed in wonderful beach cottages and stuff like that. It was very, very nice. Madhupanda had wanted me to come back, but unfortunately I was so burdened with my family members that I had, if I'd been a brahmachari or a vanaprastha, I could have done that. It would have been wonderful. I probably could have done World Sankirtan from that location.
Joy.
But I came back and had to deal with family members.
Welcome.
Yeah, Rupamanjri, what year was that?
I don't know.
Well, it was the time we had tickets.
2016.
Yeah, 2016 is when I went there and took advantage of the tickets and then traveled all over with Rathiyatradas.
Joy.
Awesome.
All right. Let's see. if
So
there's
having said all of that, I want to offer my prostrated Dandava, prostrated obeisances to Rathiyatradas, if he's still listening. And if he isn't, he can hear the recording, I guess. But anyhow, he was a wonderful person to associate with. He had a beautiful condo with marble floors and everything like that. I got to stay there, but then I had to move from there into the guest quarters.
Yeah, he's making a comment here that 2015 SF California invited him to Bangalore, where he visited Madhupande Das, and then we took train to Udupi to stay on the beach.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Okay.
And we had incredibly good kirtans.
Joy.
And I had my instrument of string, sort of a strange, like a guitarist sort of thing, which I used to take with me wherever I went. And we were chanting there and everywhere. It was just ecstatic.
And he says, thank you, Narayan Das. Wish you were here in Puri.
Me too.
Hare Krishna. All right. Thank you, Ratiyatra Prabhu. Okay, let's see if there's any more comments, questions. Many devotees here from Vrindavan. Oh, that's nice.
Sorry?
Ratiyatra Prabhu commented, many devotees here from Vrindavan.
Oh, in where he is?
Yeah, Jagannath Puri, I think.
Yeah. Well, what is the difference?
It's a busy time there in India.
Oh, but Prabhu, neither Jagannath Puri nor Vrindavan are in India.
In spiritual world?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the spiritual world. That's why Prabhupada wanted us to go, so we could become absorbed in what we were talking about earlier, the spiritual world. And bring people to become delivered from repeated birth and death. Unfortunately, people got sort of hunkered down, but the point is that in the end, everyone will have to become ecstatically in the mood of delivering the fallen conditioned souls before they waste their human life.
Haribol.
Johnny, Haribol.
Okay.
You're such an amazing person. I feel so privileged to know you.
Well, we're all privileged because we know Srila Prabhupada and we're trying to carry out his order.
Not trying to, we're carrying out his order. Forget it. Never, in my opinion, and it's not meant as a criticism, But my advice is never use the word try.
Just do it.
Try. Try means you can't.
Yeah, you're right. Try means you can't actually. Yes, that's the real.
Yeah. So instead of saying try, just say carry out his order. That means you can.
What is the difficulty, like Prabhupada used to say?
Yes.
Joy. All right. Let's see here. Let me check some more comments or any messages. Nope, no more. See here, Facebook. Let's see. Oh, no comments here.
Yes. So no more try, right?
No, no more trying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a criticism. I'm just saying, why use a word that is built-in possibility into it?
Yeah, perfect point.
Yeah.
It's like
Go
saying
ahead.
that Prabhupada might be a pure devotee. It's very offensive if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, that's a wonderful distinction.
try. There's no question about it. He's a pure devotee.
His being a pure devotee is manifested all over the land.
Yeah.
So we can say pure devotee or not, but his effect, look what he's done. Look how many temples are there, how many devotees there are. We can say, oh, bogus guru, this thing, that thing, crooked people, people murdering Prabhupada to become gurus and stuff like that. We can say all of those things, but ultimately Prabhupada spread the mercy of Krishna all over the land, not just the land, the globe.
God.
America, India, Africa.
China, Russia.
Exactly.
Middle East.
Yes.
Pacific
One person
Islands.
did that.
Yeah.
And we tried to help him.
Africa.
Largely got in his way.
Tried to have a largely got. Yeah. Mauritius. Yeah. Largely got in the way. That's it's funny. Tried to help, but got in the way.
Could I read a little quote that I read to you earlier? It's very short.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, it was our friend Bobby Hebert. He writes, so many confused people who think they know but don't. Well, that's a very fair statement, I would say, right?
Yes.
In a sense. But then I wrote, nothing to know. Just accept Srila Prabhupada as Diksha Guru for the next 10,000 years. And by then, even the mice and insects will go back to Godhead.
Try.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we wake up in the morning saying, I want all the mice and insects to go back to Godhead, then we don't have to worry about the people, because by the time we get down to the mice and insects, the people will already be delivered.
Try.
Yeah, so that's, I think, a place to begin now. To preach now from the point of view of accepting the destiny of, I want every jiva on earth to become Krishna conscious during the next 10,000 years. They said, well, how are you going to do that? Who do you and what army or whatever? No, I just want it. I desire it. Just like Lord Chaitanya desired. He didn't say, now you're going to do this or that in this century. And then Prabhupada desired, and he gave us instructions, and so many people ignored them or perverted them or whatever. But anyhow, he gave the instructions, And it's happening. The world is becoming Krishna conscious. And I'm saying this at a time when people are shuddering with the possibility of atomic war in the next few minutes. And I'm saying, if we are thinking we want to deliver all the fallen, we don't have to worry about atomic war, do we?
Joy.
If we consider, okay, so go ahead.
Who entered? Mohit is here. Mohit.
Oh, Mohit, the great blessed Mohit. He is such a great saint that he is determined to become a devotee, a pure devotee in this lifetime. Am I mistaken, Mohit?
Mohit just woke up.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hari Bol, Jai. Jai Prabhu,
Ah,
Hari Bol.
Jai Mohit Prabhu.
How's everything going, Prabhu? How's Hari Bol?
Yes, we're
Hi.
here. We were
Please
waiting
accept
for
my
you.
prostrated, Mohit, accept my prostrated obeisances, please.
Hari Bol. Yeah.
Glorious to Srila Prabhupada.
All good, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhu.
I was glorifying you for what you've decided to sacrifice so much just to become a pure devotee. And what more can anyone ask for?
Okay.
It's
All-
Mohit, Jai Prabhu, glorious
Hari
Prabhu. Please accept my fallen obeisances.
Through all Krishna's mercy, all Prabhupada's mercy, and your mercy, Prabhu, through which I can at least chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
but can you imagine if you can chant the Maha Mantra, can you desire that every jiva on earth become Krishna conscious?
yes,
Can
Prabhu,
you
we can
desire?
desire.
Can you
Yes.
desire that?
Yes, of course, Prabhu. We can desire. Yeah.
We can do. I'm saying, why don't you say, I desire for every living entity to become Krishna conscious? I would love to hear you say that.
Hari Bol. Prabhu, I think, Prabhu, I need time for this. First I should practice more and more and more, and then people.
No, you don't have to do anything. You know why? If I desire that everyone become Krishna conscious, that's my desire.
Yeah.
So do you feel that way yourself?
Yeah, Prabhu, but yeah, I think I should work on myself first and then work on the society. But I try my best to preach as
You
much
can do
as
that.
possible.
Everyone could do that. I'm doing that. But I'm recommending that each and every one of us on the League for 10K, because it's the League for 10K, that we desire that every jiva becomes Krishna conscious by the end of the golden age of Kali.
Jai. Yes, Prabhu.
Do you like
I
that
mean,
idea?
Of course, Prabhu. Like, this is
Then
what
say
Prabhupada
it.
wanted. Yeah. Hari Bol, Jai.
Just say it.
I would
Just say
love,
it.
I would love to, make everyone Krishna conscious for the next 10,000 years, Prabhu. Yeah, Hari Bol.
Yes. You don't even have to make them. Just say, I desire that they become Krishna conscious over the
I
next
desire.
10,000 years. You see, you're off the hook then. You don't have to worry about yourself.
Yeah, Prabhu.
You like that idea?
Of course, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, because I want that everyone in the world, in the universe, in the mature world, become Krishna conscious in the next 10,000 years. Because
Yes.
and you say, well, how will they do that? Well, they will follow the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. And what might that be? To chant Hare Krishna, the Hare Krishna mantra.
Hari Bol.
Then you can ask yourself, are you going to do that? Am I going to do that? In a sense, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we want it to be done. And because we want it to be done, it will become done. It will be done.
Only your
You
desire
see,
matters. Rest
We
Prabhupada will do
reverse
it.
the whole thing out of our own angst-laden brains, trying to struggle to come this or that. To say, I want in the golden, by the end of the golden age of Kali, I want everyone to become a pure devotee. What's wrong with that? Am I
Nothing
saying
wrong
too
with
much? I hope I'm not embarrassing you. It's just sort of like, let's cut to the chase. What are we going to do? Die of old age? And then what? Wouldn't it be better if we say, I don't care what else happens. I want to do my part. I want to do everything I can that everyone become Krishna conscious. Then I don't have to worry about dying of old age.
Can I get a loudspeaker and start playing Prabhupada's music?
Yes, of course, play it, Prabhu. Very well.
Yeah,
Okay.
we haven't played the record yet.
Okay, I think we need to play the record. So I think that was the sign.
Okay, great.
Play the record and just play it on
do you think I'm making an idiot out of myself by saying these things?
No, not at all, Prabhu. This is what Prabhupada always wanted, and he always wanted everyone to preach all over the world.
Yeah.
Just
So
give
instead
them
of
the
people
name of
sitting there
Krishna.
listening to Prabhupada and then going off and trying to create their own little society, why not just say, listen to Prabhupada, he wants to deliver all the souls. I want to deliver all the souls myself too. Do you know how?
Yeah.
No, just by chanting. But I want to deliver the soul. Why do you want to deliver all the souls? Because Prabhupada does.
Haribo, Jai.
You like the
All
idea?
going to sing. Exactly, Prabhu. This is how Prabhupada wanted, Prabhu. It was never like you should read my books, get knowledge, and then preach and then make a society. He always wanted, like, first preach the Mahamantra. Automatically,
Yeah,
knowledge
if
will.
you,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that only, bro. Automatically, knowledge will come until you have to just chant the rounds,
Exactly.
chant the Mahamantra. Yeah.
If you become saturate the world with the pure sound vibration of the Mahamantra, which we're just
Everything.
about to hear right now,
Yeah,
then you don't have to worry about anything else.
exactly. You
Ready?
don't require anything else. Yeah. Yes, we're ready, bro. Go ahead. Yeah. Very well.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
What happened?
What happened, bro? Revo.
Hare Krishna. It's working.
The sound's
Okay.
breaking.
It's breaking up.
In other words, it stopped.
It's breaking up.
Yeah, it's not
Completely.
playing.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's break.
it plays a few chants and then it just stops and turns into silence.
Okay, how about this? Is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Now it's breaking up.
Oh,
Play it again, bro. Just try it once again. Yeah.
okay. Let me stop it and reshare it. Okay, one second.
Yeah.
Okay. it's-
All else make me the organizer. I'll play it.
Okay, one second. Let
possible.
me just try this. One second. Mohit
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Haribo. Sure, bro.
It's working. Let's see, share sound. Okay, let me play it one more time.
Yeah.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, good.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Jai.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Narayan Prabhu, we have a question. One devotee wanted to ask a question, so he told me to ask.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances to that person.
Yeah, this devotee was Tatvata Darshana Prabhu. He said, in that conversation where Srila Prabhupada is giving the names, and at the end in that conversation, Prabhupada says something about they are his disciples. Do you remember that part? Let me try to find that out. Hold on one second, so we can reference to that conversation. It was with Satsarup. Satsarup was saying, whose disciples will they be? And Prabhupada
Oh,
saying,
this is the May 28th tape, right?
I think so, yes. One second. Let me load it up.
Yes, so that May 28 conversation.
Yes. May 20. Okay, so he wanted to ask you that question. What does Prabhupada mean?
Okay, well, we have to take, the one thing we have to take is the context. May 28th, Tamal is pushing for the word Ritvik because he wants to be the next Acharya, and everybody else is edgy because they know Prabhupada. Well, they know Prabhupada is going to enter Samadhi pretty soon because they're giving him poison, arsenic and whatnot. And so they're all sitting there hovering to see how are they going to cash in on Prabhupada's demise. So that's on the May 28th thing. So when Prabhupada says these things, he's saying things to lead them this way and that way because he knows what they're doing. He says Prabhupada is transcendentally intelligent. Do you have it there?
No, this is not it. I think there's another one. One second, let me stop share.
May 28th.
May
It's a tape transcript of the tape, and there's no guarantee it's a good transcript either.
Yeah. Let's see. One second, let me load it up. Okay, I have it here. Let me share it. So this is the transcript. So Tamal is saying, okay, Tamal is asking, yes, they are, Prabhupada is saying, I'll read it here. Yes, they are disciples. Why consider who? Prabhupada is saying, yes, they are disciples. Why consider who? Then Tamal asks a follow-up question by saying, no, he's asking that these Ritvik Acharyas, they're officiating, giving Diksha. They're the people who they give Diksha to, whose disciple are they? Prabhupada. They're his disciples. Tamal Krishna. They're his disciples. Who is initiating? He is grand disciple. It's kind of confusing here, but
It is kind of confusing. It could have been
jumbled up.
It's taken off of the tape. But the main point is that we know that the officiating Acharya is the disciple. They are officiating in behalf of Srila Prabhupada. Tamal is trying to make a distinction. Remember, there were when Prabhupada entered Mahasamadhi, there were like 5,000 disciples that he had.
Yes.
He did not perform the initiation ceremony for 5,000 devotees, channel the japa and all of that stuff. He didn't do that. He had officiating acharyas do it for him. And so when Tamal came along, he wanted to make a distinction between that and Ritvik so that the Ritvik would be a narrow little category of half a dozen or a dozen people, namely him and his fellow poisoners, because that's who it ended up being on the July 9th. Excuse letter that followed, he Tamal was trying to push a distinction to separate a lot of these people in the July 9th letter from all of the people who had been officiating acharyas, mostly temple presidents and stuff like that, pujaris, who had performed the initiation up until that point. You see, this is, and Prabhupada was keenly aware, of course, of what Tamal was doing. And he actually knew why, of course, he was coming up with all these questions. Had nothing at all to do with serving Prabhupada. It had nothing at all to do with serving Krishna. It had all to do with gaining individual power to become successor acharyas, which they did with the ludicrous results that occurred. Tamal, Rameshwar, Satsguru, all of them, there were 11, right?
Yeah. Yes. 11 crazies. Now they have like 80 crazies.
Yeah, so they all wanted, it became a clown show. So people have taken so much concern with all of that. I'm saying just toss it out and consider that Prabhupada wanted who is going to desire that every jiva becomes delivered and goes back to home, back to God.
Not the clown show.
That's the mission, and none of them were concerned with that. They were all concerned with their own rigid opinion, their rigid positions.
No, they were concerned about the clown show.
We've got 2 minutes, everybody.
Jai.
So I would like to, in the last couple of words that he was asking, I would like to say that Prabhupada was simply dealing with these murderers, guru killers, and it didn't really matter what he said, because everything he said had already been said in his books. They didn't have to have the clown show.
Because they wanted to become a clown, Prabhu. They are a clown and they wanted to become a clown. Their future was that too. So it's okay.
Yeah, well, they did. and they made complete fools of themselves.
Exactly.
Rameshwar, all of these really wonderful devotees, even Hansadura, they all tried to take part in this guru succession idea that the mantle had fallen on their shoulders, which it had not. And the whole thing was very foolish, no matter how you slice it. Prabhupada sent them to Sridhar to be studied up how to be gurus, not because he wanted them to be gurus, but because they wanted to become gurus.
Exactly.
No, you mentioned also.
Ruined the Gaudiya Math by putting Anantasesha as the guru acharya of Gaudiya Math, who happened to be a homosexual whose wife was having an affair, and she killed her son.
Who's this, bro?
Their son. There's Anantasesha of the Gaudiya Math. They killed their
Ananta
son.
Vasudev.
Ananta Vasudev, yeah. She killed her son because her son threatened to tell her father, the father, that his wife was having an affair. This is the person that Sridhar arranged to have as a new acharya of ISKCON, of the Gaudiya Math. And so when he did that, the mother didn't want the son to tell the father, so she killed her own son to prevent that from happening. Remember, this is Indian culture, as you would know, Mohit, very rigid, and a lot of things like that go on simply because that's the only way they can figure out to solve the problem. And then when she committed suicide, Anantasesa was there alone, and then
The Acharya also committed suicide.
yes,
Time's up, everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Rupamanjri Prabhu. Time's up, she
Thank
said.
you.
So thank you to Narayan Prabhu, the transcendental personality.
oh, we're just jumping in then. We're just
Prabhu is full
looking
mood.
to,
He's in full mood.
we're just
Prabhu.
looking to deliver the fallen souls of the planet. We are.
Haribo.
Why do we have to go through this, that, and the other channel? We're already disciples of Prabhupada. Let's deliver the fallen souls. Let's take
Right.
up the mission that he gave us and then do it.
Haribo. Jai.
It's not that
All
hard
right.
to do. Oh, he wants to do it too, don't you?
Haribo, of course, bro. Just chant the holy names and everything will be falling in
No,
line.
we have to get other people to chant.
Exactly. Yeah. So, bro, I wanted to discuss what Prabhu is saying, right? The rubber stamp, gurus, and everything.
Forget
So,
about
Prabhu-
them. Mohit Prabhu, forget about them.
okay, bro.
Don't waste your breath on them.
Who
Okay,
They're
is
just
it?
wannabes. They want to be Prabhupada and they can't because they're not
No one
qualified.
can.
They're not
No one
qualified.
can.
No one
No
can.
one can in this 10,000 years, Mataji.
You'll never be
No
able
one
to.
can.
Which
It's-
is why
They looked around, they say
follow
every time there's a
Prabhupada.
guru and a disciple, when the guru dies, the disciple becomes guru.
I
You
guess
look
so.
all
When
around.
I was, yeah, when I was in Vrindavan, Prabhu, there were many divorces going on. I heard of many divorces, 3 or 4 times, 5 times. People are getting married. I mean, what the mess is going on? I couldn't understand this, bro. It's nowhere written in the Vedic system, right? You can't do like 4, 5, 6 marriages, 7 marriages. 3 times you're getting married, and then people are like okay with it.
They're getting married themselves more than once.
Kali Yuga has
Yeah.
accelerated in India.
Oh, yes. bro.
But we don't have to
You're
worry
copying the
about it.
Western.
You know why? Mohit, you're not an Indian, are you?
No, not at all, bro.
What are you? If you're not Indian, what are you?
I'm a
May I
Sanatani,
ask?
bro.
Huh?
Just a soul trying to chant my rounds. That's it.
Jiva Bhuta Sanatana.
Yeah.
Just a
You don't have
Sanatani.
to
Yeah.
try anything. If you chant one word of the Hare Krishna mantra, it's not trying. That's it. That's doing. So from now on, let's not think in terms of trying no matter what we do. Let's just do it.
Jai,
Haribo.
okay.
Do you like that idea, Mohit?
Yes, Haribol. Jai.
You're one of my favorite people on earth. If you like
Yeah,
it, then I will be so happy.
Haribo. Harish.
Okay,
Yeah.
Prabhus. We're just on time. Rupa, we're going to sign out.
Yes.
Narayan Prabhu, thank you very much. Mohit Prabhu, thank you very much for joining. Rupa Manjari, Robert, Lakshmi Prabhu.
Today is Haribol. Today is what?
Thank
Today is
you.
Ekadashi, Haribol.
Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri
Jai.
Krishna.
Guys,
Haribo, all glory to
Haribo.
Srila Prabhupada.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Rupamanjari.
Krishna.
I wish you would speak more, but thank you.